story once spoken is ageless, the dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape. Oh, hello. Sorry for the late start. All the early crew is especially early, and I am the late crew. I'm an honorary member of the late crew, and I'll have to redeem myself next stream. DM Chris, welcome in. Dabbling Warlock coming in from X. Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in. The Real Longshot, welcome in. Savage Splendor, hello, hello. New Type, so good to see you. Manfred, yeah, I mean, it works out sometimes to just like switch it up, do it a little different. Looks at wrist, realize I don't have him watch, shrugs. Here's the thing, it's about 1/2 past Freckle, which means it's time to get started. Jonathan, welcome in. How are you today? Thanks for popping in and checking us out. I want to know how many of y'all attended virtual Greyhawk Con, and if you guys partooketh in any of the many games and streams and like all sorts of stuff that was happening over the weekend. I was outside touching grass, and by touching grass, I mean touching corn that I wasn't supposed to touch. And by touching corn that I wasn't supposed to touch, I mean respectfully looking at the corn in a corn maze and picking off little stalks of corn off the ground and touching them because what a novelty. It's just fun. It's like, hee, I'm not supposed to... But it's on the ground already, so it's technically legal. There's something about picking up an ear of corn that is not really ripe yet. The point of that is, over the weekend, Nick and I did a corn maze, and it was awesome. It's a freckle past a hair here. Damn, different time zones. All right, shit. I didn't realize we had international viewers. Very, very cool. Welcome in. Would like to start prating. Could you clarify? I'm too tall for a corn maze to be fun. I can see over the rows. I tell ya, not these. The corn maze here was like 8-9 feet tall. It was crazy. It was awesome though. It was huge. We did get lost a little bit. I've never been actually challenged in a corn maze. So we had a great time. It was awesome. This isn't my my second account. I had to remake because I lost my password and Twitch is a pair. I think I was Frost John and I don't remember the user ID. Well, hey, welcome to your new face, to your new presentation upon this glorious platform. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Frost John sounds familiar. I think I've seen you here before. CDT. Man, I keep forgetting that it's not CST and it's CDT. I'm in EDT, previously EST. EST was always nice because it sounds like it is kind of an abbreviation for Eastern, like EST, but whatever. Oh, play online next year. Phone typing is bad. I totally get you. You should. That'd be awesome. Online games are a lot of fun. I know that they're really not everyone's thing. It is harder to get like a feel for certain, types of like chemistry with other players and stuff like that. But I love online games. I've played almost exclusively online games in the 5-ish years that I've been playing tabletop RPGs in general. And you can do a lot with them. You can make them pretty immersive. Do you guys play in online games? Or are all you like in-person kind of folks? Good day, Christian Sampson. Thanks for tuning in from YouTube. It's good to see ya. How's your day going? Might get hurt if an ear of corn fell on your head from that height. Yeah, a little bit. And it could have happened. It was a really, really, really windy day. And so windy, in fact, that later in the evening we completely lost like internet service along with our entire like region. So good times. There was a wedding out in the cornfield. There was a wedding out there. And I kept thinking, like, man, I wonder, I hope the bride's, like, okay with all, like, the dust and everything that was getting kicked up in the wind. Hey, Plaid Rocker, welcome in. It's good to see you. How are you? I think corn, wheat, and most other grains are closely related to grasses. Then I by a couple of degrees removed when touched grass. So it's Gronk. It's Ronk. Ronker Tonk. Welcome in. It's so good to see you. How are you? We'll be CST and EST in a few weeks. Is that changing? Does that change? Eusebius Dreams, welcome in. How are you? I want to play my Dwarven Mountain Goat Knight in Dwarven Mountain Goat Knight. Please tell me more. Explain, please. I beg of you. Play by post guy here. Hey, nice. Play by post. Play by post? Play in the mail? Like play by post, like mail in your moves and stuff, and then oh god, I'm slow. Had a campaign start online, last for about 3 years. Still love in person with my best friends. Yeah, that's kind of how it's been. Like, my group of friends is kind of all over the country, and so we mostly play online, and then every once in a while we're able to like get together, and it's awesome. But for the most part, we need to play an online game. True, very true. Wait, 10 forgot the Mythweavers one. Okay. 1 in-person game, 1 online game, 9 PBP games. What is play by post? Okay, can you describe for me a play by post game? Forums. Okay. Gotcha. That's super cool. What is a game? What does a PBP game look like? I have not heard of that before. That sounds awesome. That sounds super cool. He's a dwarf that rides a mountain goat. I would kill or die for him or his goat pretty much immediately. Automatically, I would do that. Whereas Tronk is downstairs. Can I see Tronk? Hang on. Oh, Tronk is eating his dinner. That's okay. I've got Tronk's homunculus. So Tronk is with us. Tronk is technically with us now. I just wanted to have a mount that could jump around, rocky terrain. That sounds awesome. That sounds so cool. I love stuff like that. I'm hopefully going to be running my very first like actual CNC one shot that isn't like a battle royale where I don't have to do any work. Hopefully soon. So that'll be my first time ever running Castles and Crusades. That'll be crazy, but I'm pretty excited about it. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. I'll let you guys know. Don't disturb the Tronk. It's okay. I'll hail the Tronk. I'll hail the Tronk. He's just a good boy. His thing. He's just a very good boy. He's just a little man. Here's a link to the CNC play-by-post game I'm in. Hell yeah. Let's check it out. Ooh, okay. I see characters. Moss Smallbarrow. Under Dungeon Master Black Dow. Adam Warnock. Hunidark. Rannoch Deep Delver, and Spiro Hawk. This is an awesome looking party. I like Adam Warnock's race. Male, probably human, computer scientist. Love that. Would join that. I've got a small group of players, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see. But if it goes well, maybe I'll run it again. Because, like, why not? I think that'd be cool. Debating between my next game I run being a CNC game and a Shadow Dart game. Ooh, okay. Those are two really, really, really good choices. I want to meet, what's her name is Kelsey, right? Yeah, so I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Kelsey Dion. I want to meet her so bad because she seems so cool. Everyone that I've met who has had a conversation with her says that she's like a ray of sunshine and just like so enthusiastic about like this industry and her game and everything, and like just seeing everything that she's accomplished, and like with her being like, you know, like a young woman and just like kicking so much ass in the tabletop RPG space, it makes my heart happy. It makes me sing. I love it. But all that being said, I have never played Shadow Dark, and I want to change that because it seems like a really, really cool game. It won an Ennie or 2 Ennies last year, the 2024. Did the Shadow Dark beta with her at GaryCon a few years back. Kelsey's a real deal. She seems so cool. I just want to like shake her hand and thank her for everything. You know those people that are just like, I'm so happy that you exist and that the universe could have aligned so differently where I could have existed at like a different period of time than you. We didn't have to exist at the same time, but we are, and I just get to admire all of the awesome shit that you're doing. So excited. She's so cool. Hey, History Prof, welcome in. I can introduce you to her. Dude. Like, low key. She won 4. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's super, super cool. Don't think she'll be at Gamehole, but at GaryCon. Hell yeah, man. That sounds awesome. I'm very excited for Gamehole and GaryCon. It's going to be very cool. Gamehole really, really snuck up on me this year. But we're going to go. We're going to be there. Nonk and Gronk and Dakota and Jeremy. Donk and Jonk. Gronk, Nonk, Donk, and Jonk. We're going to be there. We're going to be in the booth. And it's going to be awesome. The Castle Keeper for the CNC game I linked to was just thinking about using Shadow Dark. Just had issues with the torch mechanics. Ooh, cool. So as someone who knows nothing about Shadow Dark, are torch mechanics like big in Shadow Dark? Is that like a significant like mechanic in the game? Gamehole snuck up on everybody this year, I think. Is that true? It's not just me? Is it really not just me? I want to go to North Texas RPG Con so I can hang out with the Save for Half crew. Save for Half? Whomst does that? Save for Half. Ooh, it's a podcast. This looks cool. I'll save this and check it out later. Not really good for play-by-post. Torches are timed. Oh, okay. 1 hour in real time. I suppose that would probably be a little bit tough in a play-by-post game. I'll be there maybe with your biggest fan. Oh my goodness. Tell her I said hi. I hope she's doing well. I'm her biggest fan. Come on. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I love stuff like that brings like real life time into it. The little game, the one shot that I'm going to be running hopefully soon, it's also going to have like a 1 hour of real time, like time limit on it. So we'll see how that goes. They did the Crusader podcast for CNC as well. Ooh, hell yeah. We've had some people asking about the Crusader podcast. I haven't been totally sure what to say. It might be coming back. Who knows? Torches last 1 hour in real time. The problem is how to make that work with a medium that has variable rates of progress and is by its nature asynchronous. Yeah. Man, I wonder, given like, I don't know if there's like an average response per day when you're playing by post, like if I know that it's going to vary a little bit all the time, but if you're like, okay, when we're playing, we usually have like 40 messages period in the chat per day. If you could be like, every 10 messages your torch goes out, you know, those metrics aren't great, those numbers, but like something like that. I honestly have used 1 hour of real time for CNC for years, since it doesn't have strict timekeeping rules. Yeah, that it does not. But I mean, Castles and Crusades is, I think, like, reflecting on it, and I'm not an expert, I don't know a ton about like a bunch of different games, but I think it's really like, it's the most modular game that I know. It's meant to be like compatible with all sorts of different rules, so being able to like add a time limit or add other stuff, like, it's made for that. It's made to have rules kind of added. That's what I was thinking too for a play-by-post, urges cautious play. Oh yeah. CNC is great because it meets you where you're at. If you come from older rule sets, you can just add them. If not, the game runs just fine. Exactly. I mean, so actually this is kind of relevant. The mug that I'm drinking out of is a signature of Alden B. Dow. And if you don't know, he is an architect. He was the one and only architect laureate of the state of Michigan. There was some other crazy like international accolade that he won, but he's a very, very prolific architect. Was a student of Frank Lloyd Wright's, very like mid-century modern, like awesome architect. And he was also a philosopher, and he said, one of his like most famous quotes is like, the best homes should be admired by all and envied by none. I swear this is related to tabletop RPGs. I think that that's also true of Castles and Crusades. Like, every Castles and Crusades game should be admired by all. Like, you can look at how another table does things and be like, ooh, that looks like it really works for you guys. That looks awesome. But envied by none, because that's not how I would want to play, because everyone wants to kind of play a little bit differently, you know? I've never met two people that wanted the exact same kind of game with the exact same kind of mechanics. So being able to like change stuff so easily and add stuff and take stuff out, and it's like all seamless. Castles and Crusades games, they should be admired by all and envied by none. That was a little like brain worm that I had earlier today. Hey, Ock Raven, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome in. I hope you're well. And Art Claude Bruce, welcome in. How are you? It's so good to see you. The CNC game I'm in has been a blast. I'm so glad to hear that. From what I've heard, Frank Lloyd Wright suffered from the form over function school of thought. He suffered from a lot of schools of thought.
You could have just said he suffered.
Frank Lloyd Wright suffered, mostly by his own decisions. I mean, I don't have beef. I don't have beef with Frank Lloyd Wright. I have a little bit of beef with Frank Lloyd Wright. Has it been enough months since I've told the story about Alden Dow and Frank Lloyd Wright?
Oh, sure. That's a classic. You can always tell that story.
It's my favorite story ever. This is my favorite like historical story.
You have to talk about the letter too.
Yeah. I wish I still had it. I've got it somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Nick lurking off screen. Nonk is lurking, so is Tronk. Tronk and Nonk are here. I still haven't had the pleasure of playing in a CNC game, and I'm very sad about it. We're going to change that. Mark my words. And that is a threat. Also, 101 Things I Learned in Architect School is the best non-gaming book that can apply to game design. I'm not even surprised to hear that. That's awesome. I mean, so I worked in like furniture retail, and this place I did some work at the Alden Dow Home and Studios for a while and was really, really lucky to study a little bit of like mid-century modern like history as it relates to like architects and furniture designers. And the drama, the sheer amount of drama. I promise the story is not going to take a million years. I'll tell it succinctly, as concisely as possible. But basically, Alden Dow was a student of Frank Lloyd Wright's. So Frank Lloyd Wright had a workshop, a program, a retreat for architects that he hosted in Taliesin, and Alden Dow and his wife Veda attended this workshop. And while all the architects were working with Frank Lloyd Wright and learning from him and stuff, Frank Lloyd Wright's wife, old Giovanna, was kind of entertaining like the wives of these architects and having like classes and stuff for them as well, so that they could also learn while on this fellowship. And they learned things like painting and knitting and stuff that Veda was not particularly interested in. But she and old Giovanna, they bonded like this over the course of the fellowship. They became best friends. And after Alden and Veda left, like these two couples kept in touch, and Alden and Frank developed this really, really, really close friendship. So the year is, I think, it's either 1931 or 1933. The state of Arizona is putting out like a commission for architects to help them build, I think it was an art gallery, like this art gallery to house all of like the best art that was made in Arizona. And it's kind of a competition to like have different architects submit their designs, and then some sort of board would approve one of them. Frank and Alden both applied. The thing is, Alden offered to do it for less money. He didn't realize that Frank had also applied, and vice versa, but nevertheless, Alden Dow received the commission. Frank Lloyd Wright did not. So at the same time, the two of them sat down to type out letters to each other. And Frank's letter to Alden was scalding. He was just like, his ego was just like, could not believe that a student of his had like undercut him and like stolen this opportunity, like pulled the rug out from under him, basically. Like his perspective was like, I made you the architect that you are today, and this is what you do, which is like, I think that's ridiculous personally, but to each their own. His ego was kind of doing the talking. Meanwhile, Alden Dow is writing this letter to Frank being like, you were the first person I wanted to tell. Guess what? I won this thing. I'm so excited. Thank you for everything over the years, yada yada. So they receive their letters respectively, and shit kind of hits the fan. Alden is like outraged. Frank is so mad because this letter from Alden being like, oh my God, guess what? Like, it's just salt in the wound for Frank. The point of being a mentor is to train your replacements. Exactly. They should do better than you, you know? Is that not the point? But with Frank, it sounded like he wanted like the power and influence of like being a mentor, but not for anyone to actually like do better than him, you know? So another round of like letters goes out. Also in the first letter, I forgot to mention this, Frank calls Alden all sorts of nasty names too. Like it's beyond like hurt feelings. It's actually like hurtful language towards Alden. He calls him a cheap competitor and all this other stuff. So Alden writes one last letter to Frank after receiving this like ridiculous, hurtful, crazy, heartbreaking letter from him. This is his mentor, a very, very close friend. So shitty. And instead of like bending down to his level. I have the letter somewhere. I would read it on stream if I could find it. But Alden's letter to Frank begins, oh God, in my garden, I have chosen to plant lilies in one spot and tulips in another. There, and I don't remember the exact wording, but it goes like, I nurture these plants and I care for them because their growth brings me joy. Greatest among them is the rose. However, I have no roses in my garden because they bite the fingers that would reach to admire them and tear and slash at any plants that try to grow near. I would prize the highest and love the most a rose without thorns. And like the whole letter, it's a little bit longer than that, but the whole letter is this like little statement about his garden, but actually it's a statement about their friendship and their mentorship, and Frank being the thorned rose that just tears and slashes at anything that gets too close to him. The two of them do not speak for at least a decade. I'm pretty sure. I think it was the 1950s when Veda sits down to her typewriter and types a letter to Oljivana. And Oljivana writes back. And the two of them essentially are just like, bitch, can you believe this? Our husbands are so stupid. I miss you. This is so dumb. And the two of them hatch a plan. So Veda says to Alden, what do you think about going to Mackinac Island this summer? And Alden's like, that's a great idea. Oljivana does the same with Frank. There's a hotel on Mackinac Island called the Grand, and it's beautiful. It's stunning. If you've never been there, you should go. It's this historic hotel, and the two families show up on the same weekend. And Veda says to Alden when they arrive, like, oh, this lovely, beautiful place. Like, why don't we take a look around and like tour the hotel? Alden's like, sure. Meanwhile, Oljivana and Frank are doing the same thing because Oljivana and Veda plotted this. So they go to the grand ballroom, which is this like massive room. And Frank and Oljivana enter in one door, and Veda and Alden enter the other door, and Veda and Oljivana promptly hastily exit and lock the doors behind them, locking Frank and Alden into this ballroom. And from there, they kind of reconciled. They had like not as close, but a friendship throughout the remainder of Frank's life. And that's the story. I love it. I love it so much. I wish I had the letter to read you, but I just love that their wives parent trapped them and organized it down to the minute without any like smartphones, without texting each other. There's no emails, like no instantaneous communication. If they weren't posting a letter to each other, they didn't know, you know? Time to delve the dungeon to find that letter, it sounds like. I know that it's in our attic crawl space somewhere. I know that it is. But it could be in one of probably 24 bins that are in there. Sounds like Frank had a fragile ego. How sad. A lot of them did. A lot of these like mid-century modern like architects and designers had these really big personalities that were like crazy inflated egos and not fans of each other, which is crazy because they were all so talented. Why has no one made a movie based on this yet? If they have, what is it? No one has, and really not a lot of people know about Alden Dow, which I think is a crime, but it's also kind of what Alden would have wanted. I'm just gonna link the home and studio. You can find all sorts of stuff on this website. You can find like letters from the time period, all sorts of stuff. Alden was a really, really big part of his philosophy was honesty, humility, and enthusiasm. Emphasis on the humility. and he did not advertise, he did not promote himself, he was not trying to be like big and famous. But almost all of his homes today that were designed from like the 30s to the 60s are in incredible condition. And he was just like, I mean, he transformed the state of Michigan and architecture in general. He was really, 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 really cool. Also, fun fact, he was the son of Herbert Henry Dow, who founded the Dow Chemical Company and was originally meant to also go into chemistry, but flunked out of chemistry school. And so he went into architecture instead. That's a great story. It would suck to be a big idea person and to suffer in obscurity for most of your life. We would think that. But he was truly so focused on like doing the work and less so on being seen for it or recognized for it. I think a lot of people would look at a lot of Alden Dow homes and mistake them for Wright homes, which is fair, you know? But I mean, he was really all about, he was so busy like in his work that he wasn't worried about obscurity because his designs still stand. There, you can go to them. There are tours of his homes still. If you're ever in Michigan, go to the Alden B. Dow Home and Studios. It's I think that it's like a life-changing tour. And I'm not just saying that because I did some work there. Like, really, really, really interesting. It takes like architecture beyond a building and into the areas of like philosophy and art. He had such a unique perspective because his whole family was like into chemistry and science, and he's like the art kid. So he would take stuff. he would go to the factory, to the Dow factory, and come home with like chemical waste. And his wife would be like, "What the hell?" And he would be like, "This material, this plastic, it glows in the dark. We should infuse it into our ceiling." And then he did that, and he had a glow in the dark ceiling, and it's something that you can go and see. It's crazy. So I'm a big Alden Dow fan. He's awesome. Definitely check out the website and the home and studios and everything. Sometimes it doesn't matter how far ahead you are if everyone else is stuck in the present. Yeah, exactly. Alden lived emotionally and mentally in the future. He was always thinking about the future, how things will last, how things will grow, how things will age. He spent so much money on a copper roof for his home and studio, giant building, so much money, an entirely copper roof, because he knew that the copper was going to patina over time, and he was going to end up with this incredible like teal modeled like roof. And that's exactly what happened, and it's beautiful, and you can go and see it, and it's awesome. He sounds like a likable man. From what I hear, he was. I've heard that, like, he was the type of person that, like, when you were having a conversation with him, he knew how to make you feel special. All of, like, the consultations that he had, which, by the way, in his home and studios, he had all of his consultations in something called the submarine room. And it's so called because the submarine room is partially underwater, and the city of Midland, where his home and studios is, has flooded a couple of times in like the past decade-ish, and the home and studios has been mostly fine all that time because it was designed mindfully, and they already have a room that's underwater, so why do they need to worry about it? We bought a copper roof, tin penny color. Did you really? Not gonna lie, a ceiling that has a glow-in-the-dark star map would be awesome. Wouldn't it? It'd be fucking sick. Hey, Nick.
Hey, let's do it.
Do you want to have a glow-in-the-dark ceiling one day?
Yeah, I'm all about it. I was reading the description of the studio, and it says construction began in 34 and continued on through 37, eventually becoming an improbable ziggurat of glass, copper, and specially shaped cinder blocks.
A what?
Improbable ziggurat.
An improbable ziggurat of glass, copper, and improbable shapes.
Yeah, and shaped cinder blocks. Yeah.
That's exactly how I would describe it. Hey, Phantom, welcome in. Ooh, the webpage is cool. Somebody should design an Alden B. Dow dungeon. Someone did. So the thing that I used to do there, I hosted a writing class for students, and a lot of the kids, to my absolute joy, would write fiction and create like these little dungeons based on the home and studios they were writing in, and it was awesome. There are so many hidden things in that house. There's like a hidden underground room. There's a hidden crawl space that's like partially exposed that really only kids can reach, and it was designed that way for his children and grandchildren, etc. ad infinitum. The chimney, I think you can see the chimney in the webpage. You can climb it and you can hang out up there. There's multiple like access points to the roof. It's a treasure trove of a building. It's the coolest thing ever. Excuse me. We've done it again. We've not gotten to reading. It's kind of okay. My voice has been going a little bit. But I think that like a working understanding of like architecture and like room design and building design and thinking about what makes a space special, I think that's really important to game design and narrative design and running a tabletop game. I know that it's something that I've used, and I think everyone should use it, but admired by all, envied by none and all, you know? Excuse me. I've been having like trouble with my voice too, so I'm sorry that I'm making all sorts of noises. Oh my god, the best viewers? Wait, the best viewers? Deferred closure, tell me more. Oh wait, you can't because you banned. Oh no! Sorry. Gotta do it to him. This is super interesting. I'm glad you think so. Thank you. Design for the environment you build in. That's something that I think I heard from Noah Bradley, the guy behind Handmade Houses. Not sure if that's the same Noah Bradley who's a digital artist, but I don't think he is. I have not heard of Noah Bradley. But I'm writing that down, and I'm going to check it out later. But exactly. Alden Dow totally shared that belief. He was all about like bringing the outside in, and especially did that with like color. The entry room of his home has like a pink ceiling, and the pink ceiling extends out like to the windows and then onto the actual like overhang of the underside of the roof. That's also painted pink so that you have this really vibrant color from the ceiling that is drawing your eye outside. I think that's awesome. I can't really get behind a randomly generated dungeon layout. Never liked it, but a space that makes sense to the folk that made it. Yeah, I don't like randomly generated dungeons either. It stresses me out. And Brad, welcome in. Good to see you. And Coffee Artful, hello, hello. So good to see you. How is life? How's everything? You moved to a new state. Get ready for regional viruses. When I moved to Texas, my butt got kicked. Yeah, it's been a little rough today. I've been kind of like coughing all day, and it's ugh. I would rather try to like sound fine talking and having a conversation rather than like try to sound all right reading really awesome prose and trying to make it sound dramatic and good and everything. Ooh, thank you. Thank you very much, Warlock. I am opening that and I'm saving it. Ooh, these are cool. The artist. Okay. I Googled him and that's who came up right away. Sweet. That's very, very cool. Just waiting for my CNC Player's Handbook to arrive. I'm happy as a worm. I'm excited for you. I'm very, very excited for the Reforged books. So the deal with those, they're kind of like just going down the line right now. I don't know how many folks got the updates that went out today, but the Player's Handbook is basically just finishing like its final round of editing, and then it's ready to go to print. Castle Keeper's Guide is kind of awaiting its final round of editing. Should be done with that next week. Monsters and Treasure, no. Castle Keeper's Guide should go into its final round of editing this week, whatever the update says. Monsters and Treasures should go into editing next week. And then all three of those will be ready for print. And then there's an adventure that's kind of just waiting its turn for editing. But it's all coming. Reforged digital release estimated time. So it'll be roughly the same. It'll all go into fulfillment at the same time. Hey Moose, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you? There was a delay on Amazon. I had to wait almost a month. Oh my god. That sucks. We can usually get it to you faster than Amazon, I will say. Just on the Trollord website. Enjoying the nice days in Michigan. It has been beautiful. It has been so beautiful. And it's going to be beautiful all week. It was kind of funny. We were sort of hoping for rain just because our apartment is really, really, really cozy in like rainy weather. And so we're just looking at the weather app just like day after day of like beautiful like mid-70s sunshine. Like, damn it all. It's so rare that Michigan goes so many days of like just beautiful weather, especially in the autumn. How much is changing in the new CNC Player's Handbook? I think that the biggest change you'll see is layout. The layout has been updated and looks way better. If my opinion means anything, it's just a little bit more like user friendly. There's some language that's going to be changing. Spell descriptions are a little bit different. And that's pretty much it. It's still the same game and everything like that. It's going to be mostly like wording, layout changes, some updated art, which is exciting. Monsters and Treasures is going to be full of beautiful new art. It's actually done. All the art is done for it. But yeah, it'll be familiar to you. It'll just be like, I think, better. It is rare. Never happens in the winter. Literally. I'm waiting for it. Like, I'm waiting to eat my words for like, oh man, I can't wait for it to be cold and dark and cozy inside. And then it's winter when the sun never shines. And I'll be like, ugh, why was I complaining? Next time I'll order on the TLG webpage. Do it. And if you have any issues or questions, email product support, because that's me. And I'll be happy to help you. 95 today. Manfred, where are you at again? That sounds cool. I'm super excited. I think that so I love Castles and Crusades and I love Trollord games, and there's no but to that statement. They deserve books that do the game justice, and I think that these new books do. They deserve books that are flawless. They don't have any typos, no like grammatical errors, anything like that. They deserve to be presented with like a beautiful layout that's like intuitive and easy to use. Like new art, all that stuff. Like I just think that this is going to be the books as they were kind of always meant to be presented to people, you know? Can't wait for the new C&C books. Me too. I ordered the 8th printing of the Player's Handbook, but I'm eager to buy the reforged ones in the future. Yeah, take your time. Like, digest the material. Come back to it anytime. It'll be awesome. I got the M&T last week, and I love the quality of the books. I'm so glad. I'm really, really glad to hear that. New Mexico. Ooh, yikes. You probably had a rough summer, buddy. I'm so sorry. Are y'all on the Upper Peninsula? And if so, how bad are the winters up there? Fun fact. I've never been to the Upper Peninsula. I've lived in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. Never visited the UP. Ever. Nick has been. But not in the winter. Let's go find out.
We're gonna go.
We'll go.
We're gonna go to Marquette.
We're gonna go to Marquette. We're gonna survive. We're gonna live through the winter, and we'll report back. Hey, Jace, welcome in. I look forward to all the books and goodies from the Kickstarter. I'm so excited. There's so many goodies. I can't wait. Alabama boy. Alabama. Nice. You now have a quest. Yeah, go to the UP and survive. I especially am looking forward to the new Monsters and Treasures book with its new art and better formatting. Dude, the art looks so good. It looks so good. They've been like posting it in like the employee like group chat as it's been coming out. Ugh! You're all going to be very happy. It's very, 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 very good. It's incredible art, especially the dragons. The dragons are going to blow you guys away. They blew me away. I'm very easy to impress. I think that it is an art to be consistently delighted by things. So I'm very, very easy to impress when it comes to art. But I think that it's not just me. I think the art is incredible. It was warm, but not too hot here in Alabama. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad. Lucky to see snow once a decade or so. Oh, that hurts. That's painful. We haven't had a white Christmas in Michigan, in my area of Michigan, in a while. I mean, it's my first time being back in a while. I haven't lived in this area in like 7 years. Isn't the Upper Peninsula at the same latitude as Finland? Is it?
Let's find out.
Let's consult the boyfriend. The boyfriend machine.
I'm just going to Google Earth, bro.
Calculating. I got the PDF of the M&T of Aihrde, and wow, I love the dragons. The M&T of Aihrde is really fun. I love all of the Aihrde books for like obvious reasons. That's what this whole show is supposed to be about, is like Aihrde and like Airdian lore and everything. But I love the M&T of Aihrde. The monsters are just really fun.
No, the UP is about in line with like northern France and like southern Germany and that kind of stuff.
Northern France, southern Germany. There you have it. What's the Lower Peninsula in line with?
Lower Peninsula is kind of like the middle of France, like Switzerland kind of area.
So we should make French and Swiss food.
Sure, yeah, that sounds awesome.
That'd be kind of fun. Ooh, I'm from Texas. If we have snow, it is a disaster. Didn't it snow once in Texas and like the whole power grid went down? Oh, lucky to see snow once a decade or so in North Dakota. Wait, who was from Alabama? I'm also not able to say it in a different way. Alabama oh, you're in North Dakota now. Okay, gotcha. Haven't had a white Christmas in Indiana for a while either. Flynn, How you doing? It's so good to see you. How's everything? It is getting to be about that time. And we go overtime all the time. And I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it at 9 because my voice has been going. The whole power grid, except for the western tip, it uses the New Mexico power grid. So just mooch off of New Mexico's Wi-Fi for a little bit. You'll be good. Oh, I had it backwards. Born in North Dakota, live in Alabama. Well, nice. Negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit isn't something we handle well. Oh, buddy. Yikes. I'm in the east and didn't lose power. I'm glad to hear that. Moved here when I was 3 and I've lived here for 32. So you like it enough. That's good. Hey, Sundance Kid, welcome in. Okay. I said I was going to call it. We're going to call it. I am going to go ahead and call it. Because if I don't, then we'll just be here forever. Which would be awesome. But I can't talk for that long. I need to not talk for a little bit. I've been talking all day, it feels like. Okay. Who should we raid? We could do creep again. I'm always down for a good time raiding creep. Let's raid somebody new. What about these folks? Folk and Myth. Why not? I don't know what they're doing, but it looks cool. They're playing some tabletop RPG action. Alright, so if y'all have a moment, it means the world to people when raids happen, and it really, really means a lot when folks raid in and then stay for just like a minute and like say something nice about the stream, engage with the community just a little bit before like dipping out for the night. If you have a minute to spare, hang out, say something nice to the stream. It looks beautiful. This looks like a really cool stream. And just like enjoy it for a minute. I'll be in there too doing the same thing. So let's go hang out and chat together for a little bit. But thank you all for your time tonight. I'm sorry that we didn't get into any fiction. I feel like that happens a lot. I just like talking with y'all. But next week we will for sure. We will read next week, I promise. But thank you all for letting me take it easy on my voice. We're gonna go. We're gonna be sweet. We're gonna say hey to the streamer. Thank you all so much. Go in peace. Make the words do good. I will see you next week. Thank you all again and again.